Been a while since I reported, so I have a lot to catch up on. Peter's well on his way to getting his surgery. He had a little hang up with the pulmonologist. He has to be on his CPAP for 30 days before he can actually have the surgery. So that's the only holdup we're having now. Me. I got back to work, and then I got bit by a brown recluse. So, apparently while I was outside hanging out and talking to some people, a brown recluse decided to crawl up inside of my dress and bit me. When it bit me, it was just this little tiny bite, like a little tiny, almost like an ant bite. And I thought it was an ant. So I popped the blister like I've always done and thought it would just go down with treating it with some Neosporin and things like that. It didn't. Not at all. So 2 days later, it went from the little tiny ant bite to something about that big, about the size of a lime. Had me really worried. Had a hole in it where the little tiny ant bite was. And then the next day, day 3, that little tiny hole right next to it, it did something called ulcerating, which means the skin basically turned white and felt like it was on fire. And it blew up to the size of a grapefruit. And another hole started to open up. So I went to the emergency room, and the emergency room doctor was like, oh yeah, that's a brown recluse bite. Didn't know it was at the time. So he put me on some medicine, and he put me on antibiotics and sent me home and told me just to keep on with the antibiotics. They put a purple circle around the red area and told me if the redness goes too far beyond the purple circle to come back in. I said, okay. So the next day, I was feeling a little bit better. The redness hadn't changed. Now the swelling had. The swelling had gone up some, but the redness had not changed. And that spot that had the little ulcer next to the main hole opened up into a giant hole that I could put my pinky in. It was really bad. Not to be gross, I'm sorry, but it was bad. So I started to get concerned, but the redness had not spread. So the next day I went to work. It was day 5 after the actual first bite. So I went to work the next day, 2 days after the ER visit, and I checked it that morning, and it actually looked like it was starting to go down, like the redness was down underneath the purple circle. So I thought, okay, things are starting to look up. Then when I came home from work, I checked it, and it had spread probably about 5 or 6 inches from that purple circle. So what was the size of a grapefruit was now the size of a small melon. Watermelon size, like oblong. It was spreading like this way versus this way. So hesitantly, I went back to the emergency room. Now I'd just gotten back to work like 2 days prior to the first ER visit. So we're looking at maybe not even back at work 4 days. So I go in, and I don't even make it from triage. I check in. I'm sitting there in triage, and the same doctor that saw me in the ER, I'm sorry, my lips are, just a couple days prior, the original one that had seen me in the ER, goes, oh, you're back. It got worse. And I was like, yeah, it got worse. So he's like, I hate to tell you this, we're admitting you. He didn't even look at it, but flat out told me he was admitting me. Well, they had run a culture the day before and had come back with staph. It was a staph infection on top of, well, the brown recluse bite had turned into a staph infection. So I started crying because I had just gotten back to work. I didn't want to miss work again. Can't afford to miss work again. And I was really panicking. So, basically told me I had to because they had to get me on IV antibiotics immediately. Took me into the back, immediately started an IV and got the vancomycin started. The doctor looked at it and his exact words were, "Oh, damn." And I was scared. Really had not anticipated staying the night, hadn't prepared, hadn't brought anything. Really didn't want to be there. So they get me set up. They have an IV. They had two bags. It was really interesting how they had it set. But they had 2 bags of IV dripping at the same time into me, trying to get a huge boost of antibiotic in my system to knock it out. So I did that. I was there for 2 days and it started going down. So it was definitely responding to the vancomycin. So we got that done. We got the antibiotics done. And then they told me I could go home. So I went home, and then I was off, of course, the next day from work. That was my normal day off. And then from there, I went back to work the next day. Now, the issue that I'm having, that happened this morning, is I'm having the dizzy spells again in the mornings, which I think is because I've been unable to take the water pill that I'm supposed to take because the new antibiotic they have me on since I've been out of the hospital makes me really sick to my stomach. So I can't take anything with it. I'm supposed to be taking on a completely empty stomach, and I haven't been taking the water pill in the morning. So that's what helps prevent the dizzy spells. So now I had to call it in. They called me in a prescription for Phenergan, which of course puts me to sleep for 10 hours. Back at square one. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to make this work because I'm not missing any more work. So I'm gonna have to figure out how to balance it to where maybe I'm taking the antibiotic as the Phenergan's wearing off. I don't know. But something's gotta give. I'm over it. Weight loss. Good news there. I am officially down 85 pounds, just shy of 4 months. So I have 15 pounds more to go to hit my first 100-pound mark. 100-pound weight loss mark. Far from 100 pounds. I am ecstatic. I can't wait. I'm working hard. Even with everything going on, we've moved my mom in. She's had a lot of health issues, and so we moved her in. I'm trying to help her get her health under control while working on my own. So we're doing that. Peter's working on his surgery. It's my son's senior year of high school. It's going to be a very hectic year. Feeling a little bit overwhelmed, actually. Quite a bit overwhelmed. And I've got somebody pulling up next to me now. I was enjoying a nice private chat, but so anyway, I will update you guys later. Flip you around real quick and show you. Well, no, I won't because I have no way of doing it, but I'm just sitting out here in the garden at the park. So yeah, there you go. Now you can see. So yeah, that's what I was doing, and got some strange person parked next to me now, randomly. Then I'm just sitting here, just enjoying myself. I don't know what they're doing. Now they're pulling out. I don't know. Anyway, you can't see, but yeah, it's happening. That was really strange. because there's a circle. Like if you actually were to drive here, there's a circle. So if she needed to turn around, she could just circle. So unless she thought I was somebody she knew, I don't know. But anyway, I love you guys. I am gonna hop off here. I'm going to relax and breathe and enjoy because I just took my Finnegan and try not to fall asleep. I was gonna try to go to work, but I need to see how this is gonna affect me first because it's a lower dose, so we'll see. Like my collar? I made it. I like choker collars. I thought it was pretty. I don't know. I'm just random being bored. Another thing, guys, Starbucks. Black tea, unsweet, pineapple infusion, Splenda. It's so good. So good. So refreshing, perfect for summer, and I'm addicted. Anyway, all right. I love you. Let me know how you guys are doing. Give me an update. Oh, and I did dye my hair. It was supposed to be dusky lilac. Yeah, it's supposed to be. Bleached it twice. It was completely blonde. I mean, platinum white blonde. I added the purple, and actually I think, oh look, you can see a little bit of purple left. Just a little bit, that's it. That's pretty much the only place that the purple actually took, was right there. Everywhere else, it turned pink. It was pretty. Don't get me wrong, it's like a dusky pink. Not what I wanted, but it was pretty. But if any of y'all ever are in Orange Park and ever need a good haircut, Brandy May, Fantastic Sam's, Orange Park, she's amazing. It's the one near Karate America. She's fantastic. Best barber, hair cutter, beautician, whatever you want to call her. She's amazing. And I will never go to anybody else, so she better always be there. Anyway, all right, I have rambled enough. Bye.